Hello YouTube, and today's Let's Play video diary is based on Project Zomboid. So here's the video and I hope you enjoy it. Like, rate, comment and subscribe. Right, to pick a story. There's only 2 stories at the minute, but they are going to expand on the story mode. The game is being released like Minecraft. It's currently in beta 1.5D. The next release is hopefully out towards the end of next week. If you're watching this at the end of next week, it'll hopefully be out. But this is a survival video. The first of many, hopefully. Any text that you cannot read, if you drop me a comment, I will put it in the description of the video, which I'll probably do anyway. And just enjoy the video. So the game starts with, on the story mode, with you having to look after your wife, who has injured her leg whilst trying to escape from presumably zombies. This tutorial bit can be very easy, or you can make it extremely hard for yourself, depending on how you play the game. You do have a few options here. You can kill your wife straight away by putting a pillar over her face. You can follow the story mode and eventually burn your house down, or as I do in this video, you will get broken into and your wife will subsequently die from that, but you will have to find out what happens later. At the minute you do need a mouse and a keyboard to play the game, but in the next update they have implemented the option to use the mouse for everything, rather than having to have a keyboard. You do get injured and you do need to use things like bandages, like I just used on Kate there. The game can be extremely difficult and you will eventually die from things such as exhaustion and bleeding out. You can also get depression on the game. You can turn off hints on and off in the story mode. There's a few story modes that people have actually wrote themselves that I've heard of pretty good. If you're more adventurous, I would recommend not going to the shed, and if you follow the road down to the right of the house, you will eventually see a bank. Across the road from the bank is a hardware store. There are lots of planks of wood next to that. Sometimes it may be locked, which can be a pain, but there's also a fire axe in there which can prove quite helpful, and it's also a good place to gather things such as wood and various other items. You can actually build doors, so you could add more doors into your house to basically fortify it more. You can also find the equipment there that you would need to make a Molotov, which I have not experimented with yet. Just because I basically tend to die a lot on the game before I have time to make anything, so that's my main reason for not experimenting with those, but maybe at some point I will, especially when the multiplayer comes out, because they are planning on making the game multiplayer so you can play and survive with your friends. I would recommend leaving at least one door in your house unbarricaded so you can get out in case of emergency, such as buckloads of zombies attacking your house or burning the place down. Now you'll notice the icon at the side, which is currently a pinky colour. That means it's not very high at the minute. It will change colour and get red eventually as you get more hungry. It is also the same for other things such as depression, alcoholism, because you can get addicted to smoking and drinking. You will also notice at some point that you can get panicked as well. I'm not sure if that changes colour or not. You'll also notice that there is one that looks like rain if you go out in the rain, and there's also one which looks like blood, which tells you that you're bleeding out, and the darker it gets, the heavier you're bleeding out. I would recommend tending to your wounds if you're bleeding out as soon as possible, otherwise you will eventually die, which is not really good if you're trying to survive. It kind of defeats the point of surviving. This is zombie kill number 1. I will count the amount of zombies I kill before I eventually die. Or I will at least attempt to keep a number of kills counted. There are various weapons you can use against them. Most effective being fire axes and baseball bats at the minute. I wouldn't recommend using the shotgun because it makes more noise, which attracts more zombies to you, which leaves more of a chance of being overrun. You can burn houses down if you leave the cooker on, which can sometimes be a good idea to do so that it distracts more of the zombies to an area. But I would recommend running away from the area before the place burns down, because otherwise you're A, stuck in a burning building, and B, lots of zombies will eventually get to the building and you can be very easily overrun. The zombies can be quite easy to run through, but you can get infected just from a scratch, so I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd also recommend, if you are having one safe house like this, keep as much food and water in it as possible, because in one of the later updates they are planning on having it so the water stops running and electricity goes, so you will need to keep torches and lots of batteries. Cooking can be quite difficult, but I find if you fast forward time, and then quickly drag out the food, leave the cooker open. It gives you food cooked a lot quicker with a slightly lower chance of burning the food. They are eventually planning on extending this storyline. There is no deadline for that as of yet, but there is a quite nice story mod which adds another story to the game, where you continue playing as them after this, and there is more quests for you to do, such as finding other survivors and exploring the world a bit more. I will leave a download link for that in the description somewhere. You will have to figure out how to install it yourself. On a Mac it's quite simple, but I've heard installing mods on the PC version is a complete other story, because it's quite hard. I walked back up the stairs then for some strange reason. Dialogue at the minute is quite basic. Hopefully they're gonna make some minor changes to that at some point. Now this bit here is extremely annoying. Zombies and even the player most of the time will have to break the door down. You can use the hammer to take barricades down there, but that player just walks straight through, which extremely pissed me off because it took me quite a while to actually do all that, and a lot of effort. You can attempt to kill him, but if he sees you running towards him with the hammer out, or whatever weapon you've chose to use, he will shoot you first. So you do have quite a low chance of killing him if you kill him before this bit here. You'll notice that I did manage to kill him there. I would recommend waiting till after he's killed your wife, because otherwise it can be extremely hard. Now you'll notice at the side I also have another icon above the hunger icon. That icon is telling me that my player is drowsy and needs to sleep. I thought I would leave my house here and go check for provisions, but I'd already been to that house, so I thought I'd go try sleep until I realised there was no bed. I later realised that you can sleep on sofas and couches, but then I also realised that I had not eaten, and my player was extremely hungry, and I do believe that I left the oven on. I made a baseball bat with the nails in it. It does significantly more damage. It kills in one hit. The baseball bat can sometimes kill in one hit on its own, but with nails it will deteriorate. But it also pushes any other zombies that are nearby away from the player. You will notice my player is now very tired and very hungry. You can eat uncooked soup. It doesn't really boost your health that much or anything, so wouldn't really recommend it. If you do get injured, it does take a combination of eating and sleeping to heal. So if you get injured, I'd recommend bandaging the wound and finding somewhere quite safe and secure to hide in for a while, because it can take quite a while to heal fully. I unfortunately burnt the soup there, but it didn't have the required effect. My hunger levels are still showing. They're not as high as they were, but my player is still hungry. You'll now notice that it's raining, and I wouldn't recommend staying out too long in the rain because you will eventually develop a cold, which then makes you sneeze, which makes more noise obviously, which attracts more zombies to your area. If you have tissues, it does slightly reduce the noise levels. We're about to see the zombie kill count go up to a total of 2 so far. That is number 2. And number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. I'm not too sure what the music box thing does. It didn't seem to have any effect on the game, so I left it as it was. I suppose it could have made it a lot harder, because it could have turned on and made a lot of noise, but it didn't seem to work. You'll notice the door there was locked, and the kill count goes up to 7. You may see a lot of zombies outside now, which could be quite problematic. 8, I think. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Nope, 20 still. The angry face at the bottom of the icons on the right hand side indicates that my character is in pain. You can take painkillers to reduce this pain. If the heart on the left hand starts flashing, that means that you are actually injured. There is a hell of a lot of zombies outside now. You do have to keep food in a freezer. Certain food items, such as chicken, carrots, bread, apples, otherwise they will rot and become useless. The zombies have now broken down the door. In the game you will actually hear sounds for that. By the looks of it, I also have injured myself from carrying too much. I've now lost count of how many zombie kills there was. By the looks of it, outside to the door I'm going through now, there was actually a survivor. Seeing as there are a few dead zombies there. I wouldn't recommend doing what I'm doing here and running for too long, because your lungs will eventually pack in, as it shows on the side, in a few minutes I think. I've ran into too many zombies, and you'll now notice there is, apart from the rain, there is also a blood icon.